Today I'll be shooting a movie on carburetor maintenance for pit bikes and other small four-strokes. To begin with, you'll have to remove two small bolts, one here and you can see there, and one on the other side of that. Then you'll have to unscrew, if I can get my hands in here, this here, just above here. That's for your throttle, and there's a little piston inside there. Now, if I can get that unscrewed, now once you've got this undone a little bit, just unscrew it, leave it loose, don't take it off completely yet, because there's a piston and a pin inside of there that you've got to be gentle with. It's very sensitive. Now you grab a ratchet and a socket and start to undo these pieces, these ones here. This bike here uses 10mm on the front, but your bike could be different, so just, yeah, there's no point in really telling you exactly what size to use because you might need a different size, but you'll need some sockets, flathead, Phillips head screwdriver to complete this process, but it only takes a few moments to get it off. And then also don't forget to undo your air filter, which is over here as well. I don't know if you can see that just back there, but once you've got these undone, you can take them out, put them aside somewhere safe so you don't lose them, obviously. And this little rubber or plastic bracket here, it's got a little rubber O-ring inside of it. Make sure you keep that. Be careful when you're tightening it all back up, you don't want to break that. It's only made of plastic. If you do it too tight, obviously it'll snap really easily. So, okay, back to this bit here. As I said, be gentle with it. Undo the carby first, and then unscrew it completely, and it'll just pop out. Now you'll see here, there's a little, maybe this is in the way, there's a little tiny ridge in there. Now that, when you put it back together, I'll show you later in a bit more detail, but there's a little plastic slot inside, and that has to sit in line with that. So when you're putting it back together, if you have trouble getting it in there, that's generally the reason, because you don't have this slot here lined up with a little plastic thing inside there that lines everything up together. Okay, so I'll get this out and we'll go further from there. Alright, now as I said before, we'll remove the air filter. I should have done a bit earlier in the piece, but I forgot about it, so it doesn't matter though. And then we'll be able to remove the rest of the carby. That's out. Now, always remember to make sure your fuel's off. You can take that fuel line off nice and easily without getting fuel everywhere, and that's that. Alright, now the carby's off. We've got our air filter here, we've taken off. There's it bolted to the front here, which went between the manifold and the carby. The plastic, there's an O-ring there on the carby also, as well as inside of here, showed you before. And two screws were taken out. Now that's pretty much everything that's come off so far. Now have a quick look at the carby here. Alright, as I said, that's the front that bolted onto the motor, and then we've got the back here, which is our air inlet where our air filter attaches, which is there. Now on this side we've got choke setup. Every bike's different, obviously. This one operates like that, up and down. A few other things to note on this side of the carby, you'll see down the bottom you've got a little screw right at the bottom of your carby here, and a hose that'll hang off. Now that there is, it's a pretty good little feature actually, because if you do have any problems starting your bike to start with, or you think there might be gunk in the carby, or you're not getting fuel for any matter, if you open this screw up, just screw it out, say halfway, you don't have to take the thing all the way out, just screw it out a bit. If nothing's coming out the end of this hose, you've either got a blockage somewhere, or you're not getting fuel, or you've got no fuel, or something to that effect. So that's always a good indicator to let you know whether you're getting fuel through the system or not. From that point on, I suppose, if you're not, the next thing is a breakdown. Just pull everything out, pull your carby out, and have a look, see what's going on. Another thing to take a look at is your screws over here. You've got an idle screw and an air and fuel mixture screw. Now, a lot of people muck around with these. I suggest you don't, unless you really know what you're doing. Air and fuel mixture can really make your bike run like crap if you don't have it set right. And that goes to correspond with the piston and the needle that was inside here, and we can get more into that later too, but that's a bit more technical for people that understand how to make a bike run and how to service and things like that. But I'll teach you all that kind of stuff along the way. You just have to ask me the questions if you need the answers. You won't really be able to see, because I can't exactly get this camera to focus on it properly. But as I was talking about before with the piston and the little needle that sits inside the top here for your throttle, I was saying how there's a little plastic clip. Now, so I was saying, if you look at this side again, that little mark there, little plastic, you'll see it hanging outside your carby. Now, inside of here, that right there has a little notch, a little plastic notch inside. As I said, with that cup has to sit and the notch has to go through there. So that's what I was trying to explain to you before, but unfortunately I can't exactly show you properly. You might be able to see in there a little plastic notch. It's on the underside here, inside, but if you can't, never mind, doesn't matter. We'll work on it later anyways. But next thing we'll do is we'll pull what's called the bowl off, which is the base here, and we'll have a look inside there, and I'll teach you about a few components and what to clean and how to clean it properly. Alright, now to remove the mop bowl, we need a Phillips head screwdriver, which is this one, it's a little star on it, and there's only a couple of screws on the base, but undo that one there, flip it around, undo the other, and I've got a little system I work with. I don't undo everything completely, I just break it, undo it. If I can get it undone and I get the next one undone, then I'm right to pull it apart. But there's no point in pulling one screw out if you can't get the rest out with it. You're just going to waste your time and your effort. So just check to make sure you can get everything that you need to get undone first before you actually take everything out. Now, you unscrew these screws here, nice and simple. Now next is, you'll see here, we've got her upside down. Turn it upside down is the best thing when you pull this apart. Now, take note of which way everything sits when you take it off, because it's always going to only go back together the way it came apart. As you'll see there, right? This little pin here, right? That'll only have to go back in one way again. So as I said, remember which way it goes. And there's good little indicators to look at, like on this part of the actual seal around the inside of the bowl, there's a little notch that's cut out there. Now if you take a look at that, there's the same notch there. So as long as you put that back onto there, you should have no problems, because there's nothing else similar around the outside of the rest of it to indicate that you're going to get it the wrong way. So, right, so that's out. Now as you can see, that's fairly clean in there. I don't even really need to clean this out, because I do general maintenance on my bike at least once a week. So I'm always riding them. Every couple of days I'm on the bikes, and could even throw a few videos up for you sometimes of myself riding. But now, get into this further. This is your float system. Now this is important. You've got to be careful with this, because if you get a hole in this thing here, your bike's just gonna just forget about it. Your bike's gonna flood itself crazy. It's gonna keep taking fuel in, and you're never gonna get anywhere. But yeah, so next in line is, you've got float system here, and you've got two jets. You've got a pilot, pretty sure this one's the pilot here, and a main. Now, either or, doesn't matter, but you've got to be very gentle with these because they're only made of brass. And brass is a very soft metal, and simple to clean. You just, where'd my screwdriver go? Sorry guys. You just get your flat-headed screwdriver and hold the carby nice and firm and just gently undo them. Okay, one at a time. Now sometimes I find it best to do things one by one, because if you take them both out, even though they're various sizes, this way you've got no chance of mixing anything up. So you take them out one by one, clean each hole out. Like I'd spray a carby cleaner or a WD-40 or something like that, or whatever down them. Make sure they're all clean. Bit of a blow through them, you know, and then put them back in. It's that simple. Like literally, it's not rocket science. It's quite simple. And then when you're doing them back up, just do them up till they're sort of just in there and just tight. You don't have to do them all the way up, like flat out. You just do them up just till they're in there. They don't need a lot. The same with this one. This one should come out nice and easy. Yep, same way. Nice and easy. Just done just like that. And then once everything's back together, tightened up, that's that side of things done. Now, here's the tricky part. Inside of here, you've got a thing called a needle and seat. Now, this is the part you've got to be very gentle with if you pull this apart, because this can be some serious business right here. Now, just take that out, okay? And then just lift it straight out. Now, I don't know if you can see here. I'll just try and get it on focus for you. This little thing here just sits on there. It's just hanging on there. It'll fall off easily. Now, make sure that's all clean inside of there as well. You know, because if you get a blockage in there, that's the thing that actually allows all your fuel to come in and out. So if there's a blockage in there and your needle and seat isn't operating correctly, it isn't coming up and down, then you're going to have a fuel issue, and yeah, that'll say, yeah, no fuel, no riding, no nothing. So these are just some small things to look at, and this is just a quick video of some knowledge. But I can, you know, like once you've done it all once or twice, it's like riding a bike, you'll never forget. So yeah, just keep an eye on the way you do things. Take your time, nice and slowly. I could have this full thing clean, done, back on the bike in under 10 minutes, you know, and you can do the same thing. But yeah, any questions, just yeah, feel free to ask. But as I said, look, we put this back together. As I said, take your indicator that you've looked at before, and a little mark here, a little mark there, and then just gently make sure it all seats back together nicely, like so. Screw in there, that screw in there. So these things only take a few minutes, man. And you quickly just do them back up. As I said, same as when I'm loosening things, I don't tighten things right up to begin with. I just nick them up, and then I go tighten the one on this side, and then come back over this side. Especially when you've got rubber seals in things, because if you don't tighten things evenly, you'll find that you'll split seals very easily and break things. And so it's best off to just go back and forward here and there and tighten that way, rather than just knocking one end down tight and then the other end down. And also to mention that these things are made of a material called cast alloy or cast aluminium, which is very brittle. It's very fragile. It's strong, don't get me wrong, but when you're tightening things, yeah, you can snap the stuff very easily. So you'll keep that in mind. And then yeah, it's just a simple procedure of putting it back together the way it came apart onto the bike. Hope you've enjoyed this little video and some things I've shown you today. Any more questions you've got or anything you need to know in regards to bikes, I'll be posting more videos shortly on other things like changing tyres and fixing blown tyres, things like that. It's not very hard to do. You can do it all at home very simply. So yeah, like, subscribe and share my videos, and hope to see you back here watching them soon.